And Igor's opponent, the best Korean player in the world. Everyone give it up for his adversary, SANDBOX!
And to start things off for this World Finals, you could not have two players who are more different in personality, in mentality, in gameplay style.
Yeah.
Andrew, you said everything. As we've got our first match, I believe we're ready. So let's go ahead and kick things off with the opening match of the 2025 World Finals, Igor and SANDBOX.
Let's go!
And here we go. Game number one. Now, looking at what Igor's been doing in gameplay for a while, my suspicion is that SANDBOX and his coach are going to plan to do two things. To cover Cycle, of course,
yes,
but also cover Royal Hogs. Royal Hog's Fireball bait has been one of Igor's go-to opening decks, so I would not be surprised, even though it's not his usual style, to see SANDBOX maybe having a Mega Knight in here, but now that I see those two cards, might be going RG.
I mean, they're both going Comfort, it looks like. Yeah, Mortar coming out right away. You see that when you see the Cannoneer and the Minions, of course, trying to get that Mortar cycle so you can get the Evo Mortar in cycle as soon as possible, and there's the RG. You see that with the Hunter. Hunter not really paired with much else out there in the world, so very excited to see the two guys play their two Comfort decks in game number one. It's a great way to kind of pacify those nerves.
And we'll see, yep, Evo Ghost. First look at it in today's World Finals, and the Evo Royal Ghost is an absolute monster.
Yeah. And I really enjoy this deck. I also really like the fact that recently things have changed in Clash Royale where you can have more than just one champion on the board. Obviously, the most recent placed champion is the one that has the ability. But this has made the Goblinstein come back into the meta a lot more. This has made Archer Queen pop back in. It's been really, really great to see multiple champions on the board and then watching the best in the world use that to their advantage.
And a slight swerve here from Igor, as the ladder deck he's been playing was also a Mortar Miner deck, or we haven't seen a Miner yet, obviously. He was playing Mortar Miner Skelly King with Poison, also a Musketeer in that deck. So a little surprising to see maybe this adjustment, but also it's World Finals. You want to be less predictable.
And with the Lightning in here, this is not my favorite matchup if I'm a Mortar player. You know, that Lightning is going to get a lot of value on the Mortar. Then you have to think about, well, how do I stop that RG? Well, if I'm able to get my Cannoneer down or my Cannon down off of its wheels. So there's just a lot here for Igor to think about when he talks about this first round matchup. Although, knowing he's going up against someone like SANDBOX, he was probably thinking about RG being a possibility.
And there goes the Miner going to work on the Hunter, and the Fisherman is not going to get the Goblinstein that far away. The monster dies, but no ability usage here.
And you have to use the arrows on that Evo Royal Ghost. Just does so much damage when it is not touched. And the good thing, though, when you talk about Igor's matchup are the Minions. The Minions are going to be really, really difficult to get to when you're talking about how SANDBOX is going to be able to break through. Minions are almost a free defense against RG a lot of the time, but if you have a Hunter plus an E-Spirit, the Hunter doesn't have to be too close as long as that E-Spirit jumps well. So there you see right now, Minions on top of that RG. Doesn't have to spend any more. E-Spirit comes down, but Hunter's out of cycle, so you see a very, very clean defense from Igor.
And that Fish Boy going down. Back to another one here in the middle. Miner to the outside. Monster pulled to the center. But that cannon cart on the left-hand side has to force out that Royal Giant. Little shake of the head from Igor in that interaction.
Yeah, I mean, I think Igor probably was getting a little more focused on this defense than he wanted. He would have loved to hit that ability on the right-hand side because that monster got to the tower, but he knew he was maybe down a little bit in Elixir, and if he had done that, he'd be hurting. Just kind of as he is right now. He's having to spend a lot defensively.
2481, the mark on the top right-hand tower of SANDBOX. Now the left-hand side starting to get some work from the Ghost. There's a King Tower activation, which could limit some of the damage from those miners as we go on.
This deck that Igor is running a lot of times has lightning in it instead of arrows. Obviously, this is going to speed his cycle up a bit. We saw the arrows come out earlier to save that Royal Ghost Evo, but when you talk about the lightning, nice to clean up the Hunters. So Igor's just kind of have to pick and choose where he wants that spell value to come through as one of the first and second, maybe third. There it is. Third RG shot comes in. Now arrows come down. RG opposite lane. And SANDBOX has taken control of game number one with only 1 minute remaining.
the risk-reward play does not pay off for Igor. Now, he might not have been able to get to that mortar in time for the RG, decided to go to the right-hand side instead. But as we go into the triple elixir final minute here in a mortar miner deck, Igor is in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, you know, basically you're counting only on minor damage. You need that mortar to defend. And then, like I said earlier, this deck runs lightning a lot. That lightning helps you take care of the fish boy. When you got that goblin monster coming across the bridge, if you can lightning the fisherman as soon as he's dropped, then you can actually get damage on top of tower. Having arrows, you don't have that ability.
Final 30 seconds, lots on the left-hand side. Igor is forced to play defense here, cannot do much on offense, and I don't think there's a significant way for him to get this damage back.
No, I mean, there really isn't. SANDBOX knows it. He's just got to keep up the pressure enough to where Igor cannot get a big push going, and that fisherman just completely controls the board. It is such a nuisance, but if you, again, you talk about the lightning, which is usually paired with the Goblinstein in this deck, not having that has been brutal in game number 1, and now our former 2019 world champion, our former 2021 third place finisher is going to have to find a way to turn this set around.
Big opening win for SANDBOX to kick things off here. And you see him going to his preparation sheet. SANDBOX working with Game Saver as his coach. Saver not known for trying to snipe one tricks that much in the first. So players getting themselves ready for our game. And here we go, number 2.
And back to 2 Princess Towers, which feels pretty much like the number 1, Cannoneer maybe number 2, although that chef does cause problems.
Berserker out first, Hog for SANDBOX. So SANDBOX flexing some of those skills he said in cycle early on.
And Igor with the Fish Boy getting a nice King Tower activation to start things off. Obviously going a little bit heavier here right out the gates. And the Monk. Monk finding decent targets so far. Obviously with the minions, that is a projectile. And when you talk about that Evo Furnace, it does okay.
This Monk variation of RG, not as popular these days. It definitely has kind of gone to the wayside, but as we just saw, Igor playing the Royal Ghost in game number 1, which has become kind of the dominant version of RG, not available for him here in game 2.
Yeah, but I like his options. He's got the Hunter, he's got the Evo Hunter, he's got the guards with the E-Spirit, and he's got the Fish Boy to all kind of control that Hog. This Prince is an interesting pick, and I do like it. He's got strong single target DPS, but Igor does get a handful of shots in here. 1937, lowest tower on the board for SANDBOX. Igor's only got 7 elixir to deal with this.
Hog in, gonna get a few. King Tower will limit that. And the DPS shuts it down early. 2369 to 1937 along that left-hand side as we've passed the first half of our opening 3.
These guards are so great for Igor in this matchup. When you talk about being able to deal with the Prince, surround the Mega Knight, get DPS on top of the Hog with the E-Spirit, these are all great ways to control what SANDBOX is throwing at him.
Furnace sets up in front of King Tower. Will finish off that Barbarian as he pops out of the barrel.
And I am excited for the moment when Igor does pull the trigger on his spell. Something that SANDBOX has to be very aware of. Guards to protect.
And just going to pull this all apart right now.
Yeah, and that's perfect. You
Yeah.
get the ability in, Prince can't do anything, minions are off the board. Now you got an Evo RG coming across the bridge. Fish Boy should be back in cycle to deal with the Mega Knight.
Final 30 seconds regulation. Evo Mega Knight comes and is going to knock that RG out of contention over and over and over again. Here we go, push on the right-hand lane. Nothing there for it.
E-Spirit up high, guards down low. And luckily with that King Tower activation, those minions, with the increased range on minions, are gonna stay off to the right there. SANDBOX takes the lead.
A lot of damage as we go into sudden death overtime. Now the lightning comes out. Pretty healthy Fish Boy, can it survive? And it will to back up, here we go. Royal Giant down, big moment for Igor.
And MK's there, but obviously not the Evo to MK. We should be able to get a couple shots here from the RG. There's the second shot, and this should be pretty easy cleanup. Hog Rider behind.
Yeah, just pulling the Hog Rider out is going to be difficult. Monk maybe gets a couple of punches here, does disrupt once, and Bar Barrel has to come out. Hog gets the shot, very close. 14-17, 10-37, about 400 HP, separating these two in the final 90 seconds.
And does get that ability just in time. Going to help with that Furnace. Going to help get some damage on tower. Furnace is off the board, so you don't have to worry about those Fire Spirits when you got the Princess Tower. Really nice stuff there for Igor when you talk about interactions.
Setting up the Prince in the back. SANDBOX has been getting good value out of dual lane pressure. Fisherman's out early here.
Perfect.
And beautiful.
And you got the Fish Boy to help here with the Prince. So right now, Igor has all the answers. Gets that lightning in.
Yep.
Don't need to get the damage in. You don't need to force the RG, but he still can get the RG down to create some more pressure. The big thing is you don't want to do that and then lose to a Hog plus minions plus whatever push on the opposite side of the board as we're seeing right now.
EQ in, there goes the Hog. E-Spirit to hold. Guards get wrecked on. And wow, the arrows reflect. Huge for Igor.
Yeah, SANDBOX was trying to read it. He was trying to get the arrows in, then the E-Spirit late to clean up those guards, knowing that that would be the way for the Hog to break through. And that's exactly what you want in our first set of the day. We're going to game 3. Igor evens things up.
And you know, it's interesting action that SANDBOX goes as we enter game number 3.
Winner goes on to face Mohammed Light. Person that loses here goes down to the elimination bracket, where we will be saying goodbye to 2 players today.
Bomber and Valk against Drill. Great stuff for SANDBOX picking here.
And I was just going to say, it looks like a Drill, you know, not necessarily mirror, but a Drill matchup. Igor also has a Valkyrie and Evo Witch to deal with.
And Archer Queen will do her job here in the middle. Ability activated.
I don't know what it is, but when I see a couple Archer Queens on the board, it just makes me nervous. The amount of DPS there, the ability being able, you drop that second one down, you get another instant ability, basically, which is really, really interesting when you talk about how it works having multiple champions on the board.
So both guys slowing down a bit as we get to 10, Drill out, and SANDBOX cycling that snowball, wants to get the Evo variation in.
Yep, and that's something that Igor is going to have to note and just recognize, okay, I have to keep track. Keeping track of snowball cycle when you are playing against Drill is the most important thing to do, period. You have to know what to drop when that Evo snowball's in cycle so that you can double drop immediately. He's going to want to cover with something like Ice Spirit plus Skellies, have his Log available, or the Valkyrie available after that. Go cheap in the beginning so that you can get the Elixir and have it stay on the board, right? If you use Evo Snowball against Skellies and Ice Spirit as opposed to Valkyrie, it's just a little bit different. So I'd like to see the Valkyrie drop second, or the Log drops second.
Evo Witch, Snowball gonna go try to put that more in the range of the Queen. Great Ice Spirit from Igor. And now Queen ability not a danger as she crosses the bridge.
Interesting with the Goblin Hut here. And oof, that Log was almost early.
Into double Elixir, final minute of regulation. So far, nobody's really broken through, just some of that Drill surfacing from the ground damage.
I really like this aggressive Queen at the bridge because Igor's gonna have to overspend. He's only got a really the Valkyrie is what you want to use to deal with the Queen in these moments, or if you have a Witch cycled early, but that poison is gonna make him a little bit more wary about playing the Witch in the back. So nice aggressive play there from SANDBOX, and here's what we're talking about. Ice Spirit comes in early, Log comes in early actually, and now Igor just gonna eat some damage there as he's trying to make something happen on the opposite side of the board, but Evo Valkyrie plus Bomber, and there is very little damage done by Igor.
SANDBOX having to go to 1 for this though, so now he's starting to build Elixir back up. We'll see if Igor can press the slight advantage.
Oh, and the Witch gets pushed back. So now she's got a tank, and now the Skellies are coming back out. Skellies are taken for the Witch. Witch is going to heal up, and she gets some great shots in. 2165, 2388. Evo Valkyrie activates King Tower.
Wow.
That is a great eating of damage from Igor.
You know, we talked about the risk reward not paying off earlier. Here it pays off in spades. As we go into sudden death, Igor with the lead and that very important King Tower activation.
2362, 2165. 100 seconds remain in the first best of 3 at our 2025 World Finals.
Guards to cover Drill. Archer Queen to the right-hand lane. Poison starting to chip. SANDBOX really not making a decision here. He's just going to go ahead and get dual lane pressure.
And Evo Valkyrie coming in at the perfect time. Log coming in to clean things up. 22, 82, 21 at 39. Evo Witch does a great job on the right-hand side.
Yeah, that ability might be some Elixir that SANDBOX would want back. Bomber and Valk going to work there against, oh my.
The Valve pulling it away. Rocket gonna come in on top of the bomber, and Igor is in the lead with a minute left.
What else would you expect for that last card? Igor, Rocket, a match made in heaven.
And Valkyrie in a great spot there. Gonna tank, gonna clean up the drill, deal with the queen, deal with the opposite Valk. And now SANDBOX maybe feeling a bit of the pressure, just kind of dropping at the bridge. Obviously doesn't want to give any rocket value.
Yeah, this is interesting. The Archer Queen trying to clear everything off. Gonna get some stabs from the goblins. Oh, those were huge.
Yeah, that's another mistimed log there. We got to see something to get on top of that first goblin, then the log just a bit later. But Igor's okay. He knows he has the rocket cycle game. SANDBOX is the one that needs to make something happen in 20 seconds.
Poison down. Evo snowball to clear. Log.
The drill! The log is early!
Oh my
God. The log is early! He has missed so many logs throughout game one, or excuse me, game three.
He has to both cover and have the time for this rocket. Poison in, log down, Ice Spirit to clear, snowball in. That's gonna be it! SANDBOX takes game one, game three, and the win!
SANDBOX